because it's really the part kind of weakness for me. Yeah, I try to train every day, but some long sentences for me it's really hard because I try to combine the first letter, for each word, and also trying to speak at the same time, but it's kind of confusing my mind. So yeah, I just need maybe more practice.
Did you try at least 30 of it every day? 30, 40 of it?
Not every day actually, but I just follow the links you send us online, the
practice websites.
Yeah, the YouTube video, like 2 hours YouTube. It's pretty good actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, just need a bit more time. It's a bit tricky in my situation now because I'm just working and it's not like fixed shift, so I try to organize a bit more with my boss, but it should be all right. I didn't plan yet when I will
take your test.
Yeah, take the test, so I'm not really in a rush, but maybe in June or July. I'm not really.
Okay, so you've given yourself, if it's June, so this is April, so it's almost 3 months. 3 months is pretty good time, but you need to commit yourself, especially for repeat sentences and write from dictation.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because those are your biggest, they can make or break it. So you get your 8 from there, or you lose your 8 from these two questions.
Okay.
Repeat sentence, write from dictation.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so today, do you have any specific module in mind, or?
Last time we just, we talk about write essay, I think.
Yeah, okay, so we'll do a bit of writing today then.
Yeah, sure. Or maybe listening. I don't know what I should focus on, like
because
for the points and everything.
Speaking and listening are your most important modules for your point. Speaking
so
and
maybe if we can speak about, if we can focus on listening,
Yes. Yeah. So we'll try to fit in both listening and writing. So we'll try to fit in both. Before we start off today, this is a little bit about us. So this is a free class which is offered by CECA, and we offer all these services. We're having lessons every day from 11 to 1. So if any of your friends also need PTE services, recommend them, or IELTS classes as well. It's a completely free of cost, so let them know as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we'll start off with listening. Just trying to. Okay, so listening is one of your biggest important module. It's the most important module along with speaking, because speaking supports listening and listening supports writing. So speaking supports reading and listening, whereas listening supports writing to a big extent. So most of half your writing points come from these questions, from your listening module. So listening is for a total of about 45 to 57 minutes. And we have 8 different types of questions in listening. So I'll be telling you what your not important questions are, so that you don't have to practice them at home. Okay, so the questions that I tell you are unimportant. Don't waste your time practicing these questions at home. So the first not important question is your multiple choice, multiple answer. So that's not important. Your second question, which is not important, is highlight correct summary. This is not important. Multiple choice, single answer is not important. And select missing word. This is also not important.
Select missing word is pretty easy actually, if I remember well. So.
Yes. So so because it's listening, I think all these questions, it's fairly easy to listen and come to determine the answer. But don't waste your time practicing these questions, because they are not going to give you a lot of points. So out of the 8 question types in your listening, 4 of them are not important, or 4 of them need not be practiced. So we have 4 questions which are important, out of which 2 are quite easy. It's only the remainder 2 that you really have to practice. So your listening is divided into 2 sections or 2 parts. So there are 8 questions, but your listening test itself is divided into 2 parts. The first part of your listening, or the first section of your listening, has only one question type, which is called summarize spoken text. So this is the only question type in your section 1 or part 1 of your listening. You will have about 2 or 3 of these questions to write or to attempt. So they will ask you 2 or 3 of these questions. Your task here is to listen to an audio. So an audio is played or a lecture is going to be played. You are required to write a summary of the lecture, and this summary has to be between 50 and 70 words. So your minimum limit is 50, your maximum is 70. So your task is to write a summary of the lecture that you're listening to, and this lecture has to be, the summary has to be between 50 and 70 words long. You're given 10 minutes per summary. So you're strictly allotted 10 minutes per summary. Each summary is allotted only 10 minutes. So even if you complete one summary before, or if you complete one summary in 5 minutes, the next summary is not getting 15 minutes. Every summary is still strictly given 10 minutes. And so this section is for about 20 or 30 minutes, depending on the number of questions you get. So section 1 is either for 20 minutes or for 30 minutes. So this question type also gives you points towards writing, because your writing skills are used. So from here, you will be getting anywhere from 5 to 7 points towards writing.
So this is like the important one for the listening.
Yes, it's quite important, but we have a template for this, so you don't have to worry much about this question type.
So like 50, 70 words is like 3 sentences maybe?
Yes,
around?
4
So,
sentences.
yeah, 3, 4.
So you have a template given to you already. So the template itself has about 20, 25 words. You only need to fit in the rest of it. So, so this gives you points to writing, and each question is for 10 points. So each of these summary is for 10 points. And it gives you about 5 to 6 points towards writing. Any doubts?
No, it's just getting back. It's been a while for me, but I remember now the summaries. Yeah.
All right.
Pretty good. Thank you.
Okay. So this is not an important question, but I will tell you what it is. So what happens in this question is, so that's section 1. Once section 1 is finished, you have anywhere from 15 to 27 minutes left for the remainder of your listening. So you have 7 questions and you have about 15 to 27 minutes left. So the next question type that you will start off with is multiple choice, multiple answer. What happens here? An audio is going to be played, and there is a question asked based on that audio, and you're given options. Audio is played, it's your listening. So your question is always in the form of an audio. So audio is played, a question is asked based on that audio, and you're given options. And as the name suggests, there are multiple answers. So there's more than one correct answer. So every time you choose the right answer, you get a point. But be careful, because this question type has negative marking. So unless you're very sure of the answer, do not choose it. So if you get stuck, or if you are unsure even by a small margin, please choose only one answer. That is the third option. Choose the third option.
Definitely. Like the
Reading.
Reading. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
The next question type is called fill in the blanks. This is a very important question type because it gives you a lot of points towards your writing as well. So this question type is quite important for your 8 band. What happens here? You're given an audio is played, and you're given a reading passage which contains blanks. Audio is played, A reading passage is given and there are gaps in that passage. Your job is to listen to the audio, listen to the missing word, and fill in the gaps. Okay, I'll give you the strategy for it. So I'll just tell you in brief. So you'll be given a notebook or a laminated sheet and a pen. So I suggest that you put your eyes on the screen, your ears are listening, your hands are ready to write. So every time he tells you the missing word, don't take your eyes off the screen. Keep your eyes on the screen, but your hands are writing down in the book, one below the other, because you're not missing out any word. Okay, and then you fill it in. And here, there is no specific time given to you. You're just managing your own time here. No time is allotted for each question type. You only have about 15 to 27 minutes and you have to manage your own time.
Yeah, okay. So like every part, like I'm thinking multiple choice is not really important. So I should spend like 1 minute maximum on each question, you think?
I think less than a minute.
Less than a minute, okay, all
Yes.
right.
So don't even
Yeah,
stay there.
yeah, sure. Yeah, makes sense. That's the tricky part for me. I think I told you last time my first test, I think I almost miss right from dictation, which is really important. So
Yeah.
I
So
didn't really manage my time
yeah.
correctly.
Yeah, so it's not like IELTS where you can choose to do the question before. You just have to wait for right from dictation to come.
Yeah.
So that's your last, or that's the end of your test. So the next question type after you fill in the blanks is called highlight correct summary. So here, just give me a minute. I'll just address. There's another student who has joined
Yeah,
us.
sure.
Hi, my name is Ruth, and I'm your PT trainer for today. And what's your name? I can just see you as iPhone. You're just visible as iPhone. Can't see your name.
Oh, this is Imran.
Oh, hi, Imran. My name is Ruth. So we're just discussing listening question types for today. Is this your first day?
Oh, yes.
Have you taken PT lessons before?
Yes, I have been taking, but
Go on. You haven't.
joining.
It hasn't been continuous, is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, are you aware of the strategies, the techniques, and things like that? The
Yeah.
shortcuts.
Yes, I'm a little bit aware of it, but I have some problem with the listening technique. Like I'm facing problem taking the notes when I'm listening to the repeat sentence, those things.
Yes. So it's a headache question for everyone. So it needs daily practice. What's your desired band score?
Is 7 at
So
least.
you're looking at 66 plus then.
Yes.
And when do you want it by? When are you planning to take your test?
I'm planning in this month, next month, I mean. Yeah, in April.
We're already in April. So the end of April, is it?
Yes, yes. Maybe in the 3rd week.
And how hectic is your schedule? Do you have time to practice or?
Yes, I'm actually in work right now, but I'm still try to look around. And also when I'm at home, I try to practice at least.
Okay. So the key is practice because PTE it's quite easy to crack, but you only need to give that commitment for about 2 or 3 hours every day for 4 weeks, and just give yourself only 4 weeks, but 3 hours every day.
Oh,
Practice your important question types and get it done. So don't put it away if you're in a hurry. So give yourself 3-4 weeks and tell 2 hours every single day, and 2 hours of practice, not of lessons, of practice.
okay.
And I
So
think
is it like a practice all the modules, like for
no,
all 4 modules?
no. So there are questions that are important and that are not important.
Yes.
So we were just discussing listening questions. So last class we discussed about speaking. So I was telling about the templates and strategies and shortcuts. So today since we are running short of time, I won't go back, but I'll keep going. But I'll tell you what the important questions are for listening and what are not important. Okay. So we'll just stick to listening today. But okay, all right. So listening has about 8 different question types, and there are about 45 to 57 minutes given to you for your total listening time. Okay. So the listening is divided into 2 sections or 2 parts. The first part of your listening is called summarize spoken text. This is your first question type for listening.
Yes.
So you have to write a summary of the given audio. An audio is played, you're listening to a lecture. You have to write a summary of that lecture. And each summary carries 10 points. Each summary is for 10 minutes. You allotted 10 minutes per summary. And this question type also gives you about 5 points to writing. So
yeah.
Are you clear?
Yes, yes.
So there are about 2 or 3 of these summary questions in your test. So if you have 2 questions, then your section 1 is for 20 minutes. If you have 3 questions, then section 1 is for 30 minutes.
Okay, yeah, like 10 minutes for each summary.
Yes. So there is no carryover of time. Suppose you finish one summary in 5 minutes, the next summary will not get 15 minutes. Okay. So
each time it is 10 minutes actually.
Yes. So your spellings are very important here.
Yes.
So, if you are following a template, then do so. If not, I will give you the template which I suggest. It's tried and proven. I've used it for my own test. So I'll give you the template. Feel free to use it, or you can use one which you already have. Doesn't matter, okay?
Okay.
So the template carries about 20, 25 words. It's got that form. It's got that introduction, body, and conclusion. So you just need to listen and fill in only the important words. Are you clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's section 1, okay? And then section 2, you're left with 7 different question types.
All right. 7 different questions.
Yes, 7 types of questions, okay? So section 2 is different from section 1 because in section 2 you're just given a chunk of time. So the remainder of time is given to you. You have about 23, 28 minutes. It's just given to you and you're supposed to solve all these questions in this given time. So there is no allocation. Okay. So even though I say 23 to 28 minutes, think of it like about 15 to 25 minutes so that you can divide it properly. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, your multiple choice, multiple answer is the first question that you will come across in your second section. Section 2, the first question type is multiple choice, multiple answer. Mark this as unimportant. It's not an important question type.
All right. Yeah.
So that means you're not going to waste time practicing this at home. You're not going to waste precious time on this, okay?
Okay. Because I would like to check only the C, number C for those.
Yes, that's right. So the next question type is called fill in the blanks. This is a very important question type, quite important for you.
Yeah.
Okay. The third question type, which is highlight correct summary, is not important.
Yeah, correct summary. Reading the passages along with the audio. That one?
No. This is, you'll be listening to the audio and there are options given to you and they ask you which of these options is the right summary of the audio. So don't sit and solve it. Take less than a minute for this, okay? So you'll be choosing the third option and because if you're not too sure.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question type is called multiple choice single answer. So over here, you'll be listening to an audio again, and there are options given to you. And there's a question asked based on that audio. So there's a question statement that asks you a question based on that audio.
All right.
And you give it options, and there's only one right answer for this. So choose the right answer and you get a point.
Oh.
Okay, before I forget, I've left or I've not told you this. So all of these questions that I've told you so far, you'll have 2 or 3 of these questions in your test. Okay, all of these questions.
Okay. 2 or 3 questions.
2 or 3. The ones that I've discussed with you, you have only 2 or 3 of them. Okay. The next question type is called select missing word. So what happens here is
missing words.
Yes. So you'll be listening to an audio. So a speaker is making a speech. He's speaking about some kind of a topic, but he will not complete his speech. He's cut off before he completes his speech. Okay. And the question is to choose what would have been his last word. His last word is always the third option.
Okay, always the third option.
Yeah. So
always.
always say, look, for your multiple choice, multiple answer. Can you see this question? The second one. For this, don't take a risk, please, because this has negative marking. So always, third option is also your answer. So choose only one answer, the third option.
No.
But for the other questions, you can take a risk because there is no negative marking. So you can use your head here, but don't give it more than a minute.
All right. Yeah.
If you get stuck, you're not too sure, your mind's not working, simply choose the third option.
Yeah, that actually for the time saving.
Yes, it saves a lot of your time. So for all these questions that I've told not important, please give it less than a minute.
Yeah.
The next question type, we're having students today. Okay, the next question type is called highlight incorrect word. Can you see it?
Yep.
So
yes.
what happens here is an audio is played, okay? And there is a transcript of that audio which is given in front of you. I'll display all of these questions. I'm just giving you an introduction, but I will show all of these questions, okay? I'll show you how to do them, and I'll give you a turn. I mean, you can take turn as well. So in your highlight incorrect words, an audio is played, the transcript of that audio is given to you. So the speaker is speaking the words in that transcript or in that passage. So your job is to say if every word in the audio is matching with every word in the text. So every time a word does not match or he spells it incorrectly, he reads it incorrectly, you click on it and you highlight it.
Is there any negative marking?
There is negative marking for this question type. So if you choose a word that matches with the audio, then you get -1. So please be careful. Do not click on it unless you're sure if the answer is correct.
Yeah.
So this also gives you points to reading.
Yes, along with the listening part.
Yes, it gives you points to reading. It's quite important for your reading. It can give you 6 to 7 points to reading.
Okay.
Fabian, are you clear with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty clear, yeah.
Okay. So the last question type is called write from dictation. This is the biggest deal maker for PTE. So draw 2 skulls, a skull and 2 bones if you want, because this is so important. This can make or break your PTE scores. So you'll have 3 or 4 of these questions, 3 to 4 of these questions, right from dictation. So what happens here, it's the most important questions, and write it in stone. You will need to practice 50 of these every day. 50, I don't mean 15. 50 questions every single day, please. If you're looking at 8, looking at 7, you will need to do 50 of these every day. A minimum of 50. If you can do 100, squeeze in 100, but this has to be done, okay?
Most of the practice for this on this repeat sentence, the right from dictation.
Yes. So when you practice repeat sentence, write it down or type it down. So you're double practicing both. You're practicing repeat sentence as well as you're practicing write from dictation. When you're practicing write from dictation, repeat it first and then type it down. So you're double practicing both always, okay?
Yes.
Always. So if you have access to a computer when you're doing repeat sentences, open up a Word document or open up a notepad, type it in, and check your spellings. So you're dual practicing always. Okay, so this gives you plenty of points in writing. So this can give you about, if there are 3 or 4 sentences, if there are 3 sentences, if each sentence carries at least 10 words, at least, it is bound to carry more than that. So if it at least carries 10 words, that's 30 to 40 points at least. That's a minimum towards writing. It can only go up from there.
Yeah.
So this is like 1 point per word, actually.
Yes, every word carries a point.
That's a lot, huh?
Yes, that's a lot. So every word carries a point, unlike your repeat sentences. So this is just a summary of what we just spoke about. Now, we'll start off with the first question type, which is summarized spoken text. Gentlemen, before we move ahead, do you guys have any doubts?
No, it's clear. Thank you.
We have to listen and we have to make.
Okay. So, Imran, are you sure or are you aware of the practice websites?
Alright, so
Do you know some websites from
yeah,
there?
app uni. I'm practicing on that one.
Okay. Are you just aware of Ape Uni or do you know about the others as well? So you can use Ape Uni, which is pretty good. This is good for your reading, okay? So use this for your reading.
Oh, all right. And for other ones, like real PTE.
Real PTE for your reading as well. Have you taken a coaching or something before from anywhere?
No, just in here.
Okay. And then top PTE, when you exhausted everything else, this is also pretty good. Then PTE 2.
Which one will be better for the listening one? Like to practicing.
Say practice everything from real PTE, please, because it has plenty materials, as well as there is a website called, don't stick to only these, okay? So this career course has a lot of repeated questions, but don't stick to it because the resources can be finished quickly. So if you get something out of this, you might not be able to do it. So do this regularly, but along with all these practice websites. So career curves from YouTube, go to their most repeated write from dictation and go to career curves again.
Career.
I've put it on chat.
Oh, all right.
So look for most repeat sentences. So I suggest do this before your exams. Start with this maybe 10-15 days before your exams. So suppose you're taking it in the month of June. So you look, they will give you videos for every month. So they would have put up June videos. If you finish June, then do May and then April. So go back. If you're starting for this month, so they'll have put up only April. So you'd finish April 2021, then go back to March 2021, Feb 2021, Jan 2021 until December or September. So keep going back from the current month. Okay, so you're covering the entire range. So They give you time to practice as well. You can use this especially when you're driving. So you can put this on and practice your repeat sentences when you're driving, and when you're on the train, you can use this to practice.
Yes.
Okay, so I told you that you have to double practice. So before we move on, I'll just show you the template for summarized spoken text. Can you take a screenshot of this, please? Have you done it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what you do here is say, memorize this. Don't have to worry. While you're listening to your audio, make 4 columns on your paper. So draw 4 lines or make 4 columns, and then you will listen to the keywords of that audio and try and take, so that's 4, 4, 4, 4 threes are 12, 16. So about 16 to 24 keywords. Okay, and then you'll put it in here. Did you understand me or no? Try to find a sheet of paper. Give me a minute, please. So you'll make, okay, this has ready-made columns right here. Don't look at this, but you make 1, 2, 3, 4 columns on your paper, okay? And even in your exam, you're given a book and a paper, and you write down your keywords, keyword 1, 2, 3, 4, and then second, third, fourth, fifth. So you can either write words, or if you can grab chunks of words, grab it as chunks of words. Doesn't matter here, okay? Are you guys able to understand me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
So your keywords means your important words. That includes names or nouns, okay? It includes information. It includes dates. It includes percentages and data and things like that.
Yes.
That was loud.
Sorry, I was
that's
coughing.
So you take down your keywords in groups of 4. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Earlier, I would tell my students to take it in groups of 3. But now I think it's important that you put in a lot of content, because this gives you points to reading as well.
But when you grab the keywords, when you make the sentence, you have to like carry a meaning as well, like
Right.
key 1, key 2, no?
It doesn't need to make sense. Okay, so you only need to highlight it or put it as keyword. If you can, yeah, I'm sure of that. So
Okay.
put it as
So
keyword.
for the keywords, do I have to only focus on the noun, or like there's sometimes adverbs and adjectives are also there?
Okay,
Well,
so
sometimes.
see, when I say keyword, I mean words which are, okay, adverbs and adjectives are fine, but no grammatical words like prepositions and conjunctions and all that.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, so can you please make a note of this? There's something that I have to clear out, which I heard very, very recently. So can you please make a note that you have to ask me in the next class? I heard someone say earlier that if you highlight a word, or if you quote a word, if you write a word inside quotes when you type it in, because you're dealing with artificial intelligence, they said that the computer focuses on the words in quotes. Okay, so I will, so far, I haven't been convinced, but will you please ask me in the next class? I'll check about it, but will you please remind me to tell you about that in the next class, on how to use quotes and put these words in, okay?
Do you think that would be useful for like the listening?
Yes, it's going to be useful, and also for your reading, because your reading, many students find it challenging to get past your reading. So you try and get as much as you can from everywhere you can so that your reading is helped. So please remind me to tell you about that, because that's what I heard someone say. You put quotes, words in a quote, and the computer focuses on it as a separate entity. So I will need to look into that. It was very recent information. But I used the same template. Well, I used chunks of information. I didn't use just keywords. I used chunks of information. Okay, but feel free to use both keywords or chunks of information. They work just the same. So if you can take notes as sentence 1, sentence 2, sentence 3, sentence 4, sentence 5, good for you. But if you can't, if you can take it only as keywords, that's okay. Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'm going to play an audio.
So as the template is saying, so we can
Go on.
no.
I'm not able to hear you. Can you chat?
If we take the chunk of words, then it will be look like a complete sentence.
Yes. So what I did is I either grabbed sentences or phrases pretending to be sentences. A group of 3-4 words.
Yes.
Phrases.
Yeah.
Either completed or incomplete.
Phrases.
Yeah. If you can try and grab important phrases, do that. If you can't, and I'll tell you what to do. Even if your phrases are incomplete, even if your phrases is incomplete, I'll tell you what to do with them. But if you can't grab phrases at all, then don't worry. Only focus on the important keywords.
Okay.
Now, we'll just give it a try. What I'm going to do is I'll play an audio. I want one of you to try and grab chunks of sentences, and I want one of you to try and grab keywords. While you're grabbing chunks of sentences, if you feel you can't do it, you can get back to grabbing keywords. Doesn't matter. Okay? You can use both, a combination of both. Yes, Fabian, you have a doubt, or you're thinking?
No, that's good. Yeah, I think chunk of information. I don't really see what do you mean like.
Okay. So give it a try then. I'll grab it and I'll grab it and I'll show you what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? So I'm going to use real PTE today. Can you see my real PTE screen?
Yes.
Okay. So look at listening. We're doing summarized spoken text. Okay. Try and grab whatever you can. I'll grab as well, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, ready? Okay, at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and...
I suppose you wouldn't expect perhaps to find a mathematician in a museum of historical objects, but actually the objects that I've been drawn to in this museum have quite a lot of mathematical significance. These Neolithic stones discovered in Scotland, dating back 5,000 years, are probably the first examples of humans exploring the concept of symmetry. And that's what I do as a practicing mathematician. I spend my life trying to understand what symmetries are possible in nature and in mathematics and abstractly. And here, I've got a connection going back 5,000 years to people who are already trying to understand, how can I arrange patches on the side of these stone balls in a symmetrical manner? One of the intriguing things about these stones is that we don't actually know what they're for. They might have been for divination, trying to predict the future. They might have been part of a game. They look very much like dice, but we don't really think there's any game associated with them. Maybe they were just for chucking around. They're very nice in the hand when you hold them. Or maybe they were symbols of power in the clan. I suppose that's why I like them, because we don't really know what they are. If I had a theory about why they were doing this, it would be that actually they were starting to be mathematicians. and that here we see the first example of abstract thought at work, that these weren't for a purpose. Mathematics is a great subject, created a lot of the technology around us, but mathematicians, we create our mathematical objects for the joy and the beauty. So it would be lovely to think that these didn't actually have a use, that they were just really a celebration of what's possible.
Okay, I'll just stop mirroring this and I'll show you my notes. It's not too clear, but not this.
Yeah, actually, to like keep pick the word, it's pretty alright, but like chunk of information, I'm not enough fast, I think, to write.
Okay.
So
These are my sentences, if you can say. Okay, so the first one would expect to find a mathematician in a museum. Second one was dating back to 5,000 years. Then find that symmetry is in nature. Then intriguing things about the stone as we don't know what they're used for. They might be symbols of power in a clan. That mathematics is a great subject. Celebration of what is possible. So this is possible with practice. I'm not telling it's an impossible task. But what I mean by chunk is words like this: celebration of what is possible.
Symbols of power.
Symbols of power, chucking around.
Naturally use of them.
Yes, mathematics is a great subject. All these can be, what was I going to say? I lost my
The
train of thoughts.
phrases.
Yes, all these can be phrases or chunks of words. Okay. Now, or you could just use your keywords, about 26 to 30 keywords. That's fine as well.
So I'm like able to collect 1, 4, 5 chunk of words. So is this enough?
Can you show it to me?
It's like the symmetry of 5,000 years. Symmetry.
You can take a picture and put it on chat. It doesn't matter to me. I'll take a look at it.
It's my handwriting is not very clear actually.
mine the same.
I can read like the predict the future, symbol of power, mathematics is a great subject, beauty, natural use of them.
Okay, so I'll type it down as you read. Can you read the first one?
The first one is the mathematical significance, the symmetrical of 5,000 years.
This is the first one, and then?
Predict the future.
Then
symbol of power, mathematics is a great subject. Then naturally use of them. These.
Okay, anything else?
No, these are only.
Okay, so what you do in such cases is, let me, give me a minute. I'll bring the template. Just give me a minute.
Like these sentences, some sentences were very big because he was actually explaining. So I was just able to collect some.
Give me a minute. Please give me a minute. I'll show you how to use this. Okay. So you say, firstly, the speaker provided brief information about, you put in
mathematical significance.
Yes, please give me a minute.
Okay.
Then you would say, first of all, this is an incomplete sentence predicting the future. So you would say, first of all, the speaker discussed, and it becomes predicting the future. So this becomes a complete sentence because of this, the speaker discussed. Okay. Secondly, the speaker also mentioned, and you would put your third phrase. Thirdly, the speaker highlighted, and you would put In a nutshell, there was information, important information on. So this them was referring to some kind of a stone. So let's look at the number of words we have. So we are not inside the word limit. Okay, so we are less than the word limit. So
Okay.
we would put something like,
Some more words.
yes. So if this chunk of words is not working for you, it comes with practice. This needs, once you get the hang of it, you don't need to practice it every day, but you only need to practice it till you can take notes, or you can just put in your keywords. So to put in your keywords, Fabian, have you taken down keywords?
Yeah,
No.
but it's kind of confusing. I think I should take keywords by chunk of sentences and not like I kind of mix between sentences when he was speaking, which is I think so good. So I got like museum, historical object. I got
So
math.
museum,
Sorry.
comma. So you would put museum and then you would put historical objects, comma.
After I got mathematical, Scotland, 500 years ago.
Okay, this is your first sentence. Then you speak about 500 or 5,000, I think.
That was 5,000, right?
And then keyword 5 was
Human concept, cemetery.
is there one more?
I got divination, future, and game.
Okay, you've written it in groups of 3, is it? Highlighted, and you put in keywords again here.
Okay, you just repeat the first one.
Or did I?
So for the third lead speaker highlighted, I should add more, or yeah? I got like dice, power, and cloud.
Okay. And then in a nutshell, there was important information about
I got the purposes, technology, and again mathematical theory.
oh, that's okay.
So I got almost 20 words, but I should maybe, yeah, I couldn't get like enough 4 columns. Actually.
That's okay. So you could,
mix.
it only needs practice, that's all. So this is about how many words? About 58 words. So because you're aiming at 8, try and go as close as you can to your word limit. So because 70 is your word, 60 plus words is ideal.
Okay, so 60. Okay.
And if you're looking at 7, Imran, you just need to stay within your word limit.
Do you focus on the meaning of the
It depends on you.
subject?
For me, if I focus on the meaning, I'm able to grab more notes. But some people, when they focus on the meaning, they tend to be diverted because their mind is divided. So it depends on you. Try both.
Yeah, I think I remember this question. That was a bit easier for me with the meaning, kind of combining both writing keywords and
Chunks.
trying to carry some meaning.
Yeah. Doesn't need to be meaningful. It doesn't have to be very meaningful. It doesn't matter. So I use the exact same template for my test. So I can confidently tell you that this works. But instead of this, I used it in chunks of words. I used chunks of words while writing this. Do you have any doubts? Can we do one more?
Yeah, sure.
Imran, are you okay?
Yes, I am. No problem. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, and here we
We
go.
are from an organization called Non-Human Rights Project, and we fight for legal rights of non-human animals. Drawing a line in order to enslave an autonomous and self-determining being is a violation of equality. We then searched through 80 jurisdictions. We chose the state of New York. Then we decided upon who our plaintiffs are going to be. We decided upon chimpanzees. We know the extraordinary cognitive capabilities that they have, and they also resemble the kind that human beings have. And so we chose chimpanzees, and we began to then canvass the world to find the expert in chimpanzee cognition. So now we needed to find our chimpanzee. Our chimpanzee. First we found 2 of them in the state of New York. Both of them would die before we could even get our suits filed. Then we found Tommy. Tommy is a chimpanzee. We found him in that cage. We found him in a small room that was filled with cages in a larger warehouse structure on a used trailer lot in central New York. And so on the last week of December 2013, the Non-Human Rights Project filed 3 suits all across the state of New York, using the same common law argument. The court didn't approve our appeal because they think chimpanzees are not humans even though they have cognitive skills. We proved to the court that chimpanzees also have cognitive capacities, and they were not hearing us. We wanted the chimpanzees out, and we wanted them brought to save the chimps. A tremendous chimpanzee sanctuary in South Florida, which involves an artificial lake with 12 or 13 islands. There are 2 or 3 acres where 24 chimpanzees live on each of them. And these chimpanzees would then live the life of a chimpanzee with other chimpanzees in an environment that was as close to Africa as possible.
Okay. Do you want to write it by yourselves? Do you want to type it by yourselves and share your screen? Do you want to share your screen? Brief information about chimpanzees. You're very organized, Fabian. Look at you. First of all, the speaker discussed the violation of equality in the state of New York. Secondly, the speaker also mentioned about chimpanzees dying in a cage like Tommy. Thirdly, the speaker also highlighted in 2013 projects, common laws, and arguments about chimpanzees. Well done. In a nutshell, there was important information on there should be an article, cognitive skills and artificial environment. I think there's no need of because you're not talking about who's, you're not talking.
Yeah, the thing is, if I like the word, sometimes I'm making the link, but I think the link in the text and the speaker what he's saying is not the link. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So the only thing that matters is you have chunks of information from the lecture itself.
Okay.
It doesn't have to make sense. Okay, don't take that out of your head. It doesn't have to make sense at all.
Because like the violation of equality in the state of New York, I'm not sure if it was in the state of New York.
Yeah.
There is violation of equality. You know what I mean?
Yes. So that's what they were telling.
So should I write?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. So how many words was this?
I will just copy and you find
It will be at the down bottom.
So it's about 64 words. You're well inside your word limit. And it's a job well done. I can't even spot an error.
Okay, I'm surprised. I look so messy. For me, I don't used to do that. I'm used to write really correctly. You know what I mean?
PTE, turn your brain off.
Yeah, this is insane. Okay, good. It's good to know. Thank you.
I was using the pen and paper, so actually, because I'm listening it from my mobile.
Yeah, you can take a picture and you can post it on chat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guys, I can be a really forceful person. I'm sorry if you find me to be like that because I have I have a 6-year-old, so I'm very good at, making people do things. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, it's good. I mean, it's good practice.
If I come across as forceful, share your screen if you think like that. If you're uncomfortable, let me know. I'll stop immediately. Thing is, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing.
Yeah, I think you should stop sharing your screen while I wait for Imran to send me a picture.
Wait. So for sending a picture,
yeah, I'm
in the chat box now. How to share it?
Okay, so on your chat, can you see something called file?
File.
Yeah, and now you'll have to choose your phone or your computer or something. And then in your gallery, this picture will be found, I think.
I don't see the file. Meeting settings, minimize meeting, raise hands, settings, meeting settings. No.
That's okay. You know what? Just read it out and I'll type it. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Can you read out your web?
The speaker provide, hello?
Yeah, the speaker.
The speaker provided brief information about chimpanzees. First of all, the speaker discussed about equal rights, self-determining, and state of New York.
I'm really slow. Please give me a moment. First of all,
the speaker discussed about equal rights, self-determining, and state of New York.
Okay.
Secondly, the speaker also mentioned extraordinary recognition and cage. Central New York.
Okay.
Thirdly, the speaker also highlighted non-human rights, courts,
Yeah.
in a nutshell, there was important information on cognitive skill, capacity, sanctuary, and Africa.
Can you please repeat it again?
Yeah, the speaker provided brief
No,
information.
the last sentence. I'm sorry.
Okay, the last sentence. In a nutshell, there was important information on cognitive skill, capacity, sanctuary, and Africa.
Okay. So you're inside your word limit. The speaker provided brief information about chimpanzees. First of all, the speaker discussed about equal rights, self-determining, and the state of New York.
Mhm.
Secondly, the speaker also mentioned extraordinary recognition, cage, and central New York.
Mhm.
Thirdly, the speaker also highlighted non-human rights. In a nutshell, there was also information about cognitive skills, capacity, sanctuary, and Africa. So here you chose to put only keywords, is it?
Yeah.
So try and get it in groups of 4. So this is what I wrote. So I tried to take sentences or chunks of information. So this is what I wrote. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
So I wrote about the Organization of Human Rights Project. First of all, speaker discussed fight for the rights of human animals. Secondly, the speaker also mentioned chimpanzees are not human. Thirdly, the speaker also highlighted about the extraordinary cognitive skills of the chimpanzees. In a nutshell, there was important information about, I think it's about, because it's a chunk of sentence. Chimpanzees living with their life with other chimpanzees in an environment that is close to Africa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it doesn't have to make sense. It only needs to pretend like it's making sense. So, okay.
So when I'm taking the notes, when I'm writing it down, I have to make it like it's making sense in that way.
Yeah, or keywords as well. Try and take important keywords. So you mentioned
yeah.
New York, but actually New York was not that important.
No.
Yeah, so important thing was chimpanzees, human rights, the jurisdiction, court issuing an order, and all
Yeah.
that was the key information. So even though you're taking the words that are not too important, see that you also include a lot of important information. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So when I'm actually writing it down, I have to be careful that it is actually making sense when it's in the sentence.
No. So what I said was it doesn't need to make sense.
Oh, okay.
While you're taking notes, pay attention to the important information in the lecture. So what was important in the lecture? They were talking about New York, but what was actually important? The chimpanzees was important, human rights was important, cognitive skills was important, court was important, issuing an order or something like that was important, human was important. So pay attention to the most important words along with other information, okay? So in other words, I'm trying to tell you, while you're listening to the important words, also pay attention to the gist of the lecture.
Okay.
So, or there's another way. If you sometimes our attention cannot be divided. We can't understand and process. We can't take notes. 2 things at a time we can't do. So what we do at that time, we try and note every single thing that we can listen to. So we're not everything that we're listening to, we try and make notes. So note taking is a very, very important skill here.
Yeah.
But you do not need to worry a lot because you're still looking only at 66, so it's good enough. But what I'm trying to tell you is if you aim higher, you need not take it again and again for your PR. You just get it done and
Yeah. Yes. Thanks.
that's okay. So can we go on to the next question type?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so the next question type, since we have had an introduction, I'll just go through with you on how the other questions also look like. Or maybe we'll cover the important questions and then we'll look at the unimportant questions if we have time. Otherwise, we might not have enough time.
So, Ruth, sorry, the most important is summarize spoken text, fill in the blanks, and write from dictation.
Yes, that's and highlight incorrect words.
Highlight also. Okay.
Highlight incorrect words.
Incorrect words.
We'll start off with fill in the blanks questions. So the strategy for this is, I'll just show you the strategy. You can either take a screenshot or make notes because this is exactly how you should be attending your test, your fill in the blanks, okay? So this, can you see step 2 on my screen? Or am I not sharing my PowerPoint?
Not sharing.
Okay. Okay. Can you see the step 2?
Yeah.
That is your strategy. Don't worry about step 1, don't worry about anything, just worry about step 2. Your eyes is on the screen. Your hands are on the paper. Okay? Eyes on the screen, hands on the paper. While you're listening to the audio, without taking your eyes off the screen, you write down the words in the blank as he tells, one below the other, not next to each other, one below the other. The reason is, you know that the first word is for the first blank. You know the second word is for the second blank. Otherwise, you might misenter.
Okay.
So what I'm actually trying to tell you is, you'll be on a quest.
So list of words like below to each other.
Yeah, actually, I'm on a quest for some paper. I didn't think of it earlier. Okay, found some. Just give me a minute. So what I'm trying to say is eyes on the screen, hands on the paper. And as you listen to your missing word, you write down your words one below the other like this. Write it down one below the other. In case you miss out a word, what you do is you put an X mark, you're missing out a word. So you put an X so you know that's the word you've missed out and you write the next word below it, okay? So you know the first word is for the first blank, second word is for the second blank, third is for the third blank, fourth one, okay, I missed it out, so leave the blank empty and write the next word to the next blank. Are you guys able to understand me?
Yes.
Sorry if I sound too patronizing. Forgive me, guys. I just wanted to be clear. I know you guys can do it. I'm sorry if I sound too motherish, too well. Okay. Don't be mad at me, okay? Just to be clear, that's all. So this is how your blanks are going to look like. So you have a reading passage and you have blanks. So most important thing, each blank you fill in correctly gives you points to listening, gives you points to writing. So your spellings, my dears, are your most important thing. You get your spellings wrong, you get 0. So listen carefully if it's in the present tense or in the past tense, if there has to be an ed to it, or is it just in the present tense. Pay attention to say if it is in the singular or in the plural form. Okay, that is very important. Suppose this answer is drive and drives, and I write it as drive, I get 0 for this. So pay clear attention, as well as after you've filled in, proofread just to see if you've written it properly. Only then submit your answer. So since you're managing your own time, spend about 1.5 minutes, 1.5 minutes for this question type. Okay, 1.5 minutes for this question. Any doubts?
It's all right.
Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to practice these questions. I'm going to play this question, your eyes on the screen, your hands on your paper. Without taking your eyes off the screen, you will write down your words one below the other, okay? All right. Imran, are you okay?
Yes, yes.
I understand you're working. I get it. Is that you on the screen?
Hello.
Who's this?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I thought that's you. Oh, hi. You just joined in, is it?
Yes.
What's your name?
Sunil.
Hi, Sunil. We're just doing our listening module. Are you confused?
No, I'm just joining. I'm just listening to you.
Okay. So we're
Is
just
this-
doing fill in the blanks questions.
Okay.
And we have about 45 minutes. I can see that you're working or
Sorry,
you're
it's
waiting
mom.
for somebody. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it's my first class.
Have you taken PT before?
No, it's my first class today. It's a PT. It's PT or IELTS.
It's a PTE class. So we have IELTS lesson from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. This is PTE.
Okay,
Are you looking for PTE or IELTS?
I'm looking for the IELTS.
Okay, then you can come back at 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock Sydney time. Where are you? Where are you based?
In Sydney.
Okay, then it's Sydney time, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, then. Or you can stay and watch, doesn't matter, and maybe get knowledge about PTE. So is this for your Canadian immigration that you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay, then you really need IELTS. Otherwise, PTE will do. Okay, guys, are you ready? So eyes on the screen, hands on the paper, put on your listening ears at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, what shall I choose? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Mystery of Shakespeare. For all his fame and celebration, William Shakespeare remains a mysterious figure with regards to personal history. There are just two primary sources for information on the bard: his works and various legal and church documents that have survived from Elizabethan times. Naturally, there are many gaps in this body of information, which tells us little about Shakespeare, the man.
Okay, can you fill in your words and put it on chat? Or you can chat your answers.
I missed the second one actually. I didn't
Second
get it.
one, is it?
Yeah.
That's okay. So shall I display the answer or you want to put it on chat? I'll display it.
I'm just gonna.
Okay, all right.
I'll put on the chat.
So the second one I missed. So first one, mysterious.
Okay, mysterious, the answer is correct. And third
No,
one is
gap.
gap. That's correct. And what about you?
Third one is church, right?
Yeah, the second one was church. So
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
your-
Second one is church.
This is your answer. Mysterious.
And gaps, yeah,
Mysterious. Your spellings are very important here. Next one was church. The last one is gaps with an S.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. I had a student who had written cats. Will not know.
Gaps.
Gap.
Gap.
Yes. So can we do another one? Eyes on your screen, hands on your paper, put on your listening ears.
Working together, they figured out that if the government was going to propose some kinds of significant tax increases, which is a good strategy, require me to at least lie something like getting something for those big tax brackets, not seeing any results. So the result of that was in the package of legislation that included the tax increases. There was awesome information to have significant expansion of coverage families where they can buy into their private insurance.
Okay, and now you fill it in, okay? So if you've installed Grammarly on your system, please uninstall it. Are you done? Okay, strategies, information, and
I missed two gaps
that's it.
actually.
So
Then
this is,
information and insurance.
okay, this is your answer. Strategy, getting, package, expansion, and insurance. So I understand the audio.
Expansion.
Yeah, expansion with
Mm.
SION. So I understand if it might not be too clear to you because
Mhm.
of the audio, but once
Yeah.
you make an account or a profile here and start practicing, this is going to be easy peasy.
Yeah, actually, for me, I need very loud. I can hear very well, and it's much easier for me. It's not enough loud. I don't really get sometimes the
Yes.
pronunciation.
Yes. So when you said that, you should always remember that when you sit for your PTE test, when you put on your headphones and you're checking it, right? If you feel uncomfortable, if you feel you're not able to get it, please, please, please ask for a replacement. They might tell you this is okay. They might put it on and tell you this is fine. Say no, please give me a replacement. Okay, because unless you're sure you can hear well, you can speak well, do not compromise. Okay, that's first thing. Second thing, you'll be given markers or those thin nice pens, sketchers, I don't know what they're called, but they're nice and smooth while writing. You're given that, and you'll be given 2 pens. See that they're writing before you start. Check if they're writing, because one of my pens was not writing and they dry out really quick. So remember to put your caps on, otherwise it'll dry out and you might have to raise your hands, make them come in and give you the pen. So it'll take a time. You're wasting your time. So before you start, see that you're writing well. After you write, always remember to put the cap back on. The third thing, pack a bag always, please, because I've seen so many students I don't even know the number of students who don't take their passport. They don't take their passport to the center, they come back without taking their test. So see that you carry your passports with you. And another thing that I have to tell you is, okay, you can always postpone your test if you're not too ready. Now they've provided that option too. So you can book a date. Maybe I've booked a date for tomorrow, but I'm not feeling ready. I can always reschedule it. Okay, I can reschedule my test to next week, next month, and it's free of cost because of COVID. Okay, and for both of you, since you're looking at kind of high scores, I suggest before taking your test, before spending your 375, always take a mock test. Take a Pearson mock test, please, because that gives you an exact picture of where you stand. So buy a Pearson mock test. It's slightly expensive, but you know what? If you weight against 375, I suggest buy 2. So you get it in a pack of 2. Take the first test only for your speaking so that you see you're transferable. Is my read aloud giving me enough to reading? Is my repeat sentences giving me enough to listening? So for 8, you should be getting about 30 plus, 32 from your read aloud to reading. And your repeat sentences should be giving you 40 plus, 41, 42 towards listening. Only when you get that is when you're ready for your test. Okay? So if you're looking at band 7, your read aloud should give you 28 at least towards reading. Your repeat sentence should give you 38 at least to listening. Only then you go take your test, waste your $375. If not, wait, get prepared, and only then sit for your test. So you
Is
feel
it very important that in the test there is a first introduction part that I have to tell about myself?
Yeah,
And
it's not
what
scripted.
happened that on that time it's like a fresh time, like you have so much energy, but in the long way you sometimes get your throats gets swallowed and it gets dry.
Yeah.
So your voice tone might get little down.
Yes.
So is it affect the exam?
It does. So I know I might sound like a mom, but I'm taking the risk. You know what I tell my students always? A week before your test, please sip on warm water so that clears your throat. It's really good for you. And second thing is, please dress appropriately, because if it's a very warm room and you're wearing warm clothes, it's very, very sure that you won't be able to do well because you'll sweat and all that. If it's a very cold room and you go with thin clothes, you'll go shiver and your speech is again affected. See that you look at the weather, find appropriate clothes, wear only things that you're comfortable with. First thing. Second thing, sit up straight. That helps you with your breathing. So always, first rule to speaking, always sit up straight. That helps you with your breathing. So it becomes very balanced. If you slouch, you will see a big difference. So your posture is very important. Sit up straight and point with your fingers. So as close as you can go to your display. Don't sit too far off. As close as you can go to your display, use your finger always and point onto the lines when you're doing a read aloud. It helps you a lot to balance it. What else did I do? You're not allowed to drink water in between, so can't dry your throat. Okay, do not, so students do this mistake. They keep practicing read aloud on the day of your test. Don't do that. Just about half an hour before you reach your venue, practice your read aloud only in the last half hour. So that you're ready for that, okay? Don't keep practicing it from morning if you're doing it in the afternoon or from early morning. Don't do that. Just your last half hour should be dedicated to read aloud or describe image, whatever that you're practicing for your speaking. Only half hour of speaking. And that's your last practice. That's it. Then you end your practice and go do your test.
All right.
Okay. All right, then practice your breathing, sit up straight. Trust me, you record yourself slouching and record yourself sitting up straight. There's a big difference between the two. Okay, so I don't think we have a lot of time, just half an hour left and we need to cover 3 more questions. We'll do 1 more fill in the blanks and we'll look at highlight incorrect words, okay?
Okay.
Okay, eyes on the screen, hands on the paper, put on your listening ears.
Carbon-rich soils. Rebuilding carbon-rich agriculture soils is the only real productive, permanent solution to taking excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. She is frustrated that scientists and politicians don't see the same opportunities she sees. This year, Australia will emit just over 600 million tons of carbon. We can sequester 685 million tons of carbon by increasing soil carbon by 0.5% on only 2% of the farms. If we increased it on all of the farms, we could sequester the whole world's emissions of carbon.
Are you talking to me?
No. It's my radio.
Okay. So this is your answer. Permanent, frustrated, emit, increasing. Frustrated, emit, increasing. That's all. Okay. Whole. So that's 2 wrongs. That's 1, 2, 3 points to listening, 3 points to writing.
Permanent form. Yeah.
So always, guys, keep your timer on for your fill in the blanks. 1.5 minutes. Okay. So always time yourself. Look out for this timer if you're practicing, or if you're practicing by yourself, time yourself. Okay. Let's look at the next question type. It's just called highlight incorrect words. Here, it's very important that you always go through the passage with your mouse, okay? Use your pointer to read through because you need to highlight it.
Fluoride helps fight.
Sorry. So this is how your question is going to look like. This is called highlight incorrect words. Always use your pointer of your mouse because later you can't. So always use your mouse pointer to move across, okay? So you're listening to the audio and you're reading. So don't try to understand the meaning here, please. Only look at the words, okay? So every time a word does not match, you click on it and you highlight. Suppose you want to unhighlight a word. You feel you've clicked the wrong word and you want to unhighlight it, click on it again, it unhighlights. And second thing for this, don't understand the meaning. Unless you're sure, don't click on it because this has negative marking. Gives you points to reading as well, and it's important for your reading. Are you ready? So can you guys take a look at the screen? So I want you to look at the words that are wrong and which needs to be highlighted, or tell me if I've highlighted it correctly. Can we start? Any doubts?
Just for because it's gonna be complicated for us because we are just online. I mean, like we can't highlight. So you're gonna stop on the way, or
I'll be highlighting it. You just
yeah, okay,
say,
okay.
okay. Ready?
Fluoride helps fight cavities. That's why it's in our drinking water and toothpaste. But how this mineral works its dental magic is still somewhat mysterious. Now, researchers offer an incisive solution. They find that fluoride treatment can loosen bacteria's grip on tooth enamel, the studies in the journal Langmuir. Scientists used to think that fluoride could harden tooth enamel, helping it retain the minerals that protect teeth from the acid produced by our oral flora. But recent work has shown that fluoride doesn't really penetrate past the tooth's thinnest outer layer, suggesting that something other than hardening is going on. To drill deeper into this toothsome mystery, researchers whipped up a set of artificial choppers, made of the same stuff as teeth, and they used atomic force microscopy to take a closer look at how bacteria interact with this dental material. They found that 3 different strains of cavity-causing bugs cling less tightly to enamel that's been rinsed with fluoride. The bacteria carry a net negative charge on their surfaces, so the negatively charged fluoride ions in the treated enamel may be literally repulsive to the bacteria, which encourages them to bite the dust.
Okay. So we got, we didn't get these. Did you catch that?
No.
Too fast, is it?
That was pretty fast, yeah.
Yeah,
no, I mean the word you're right, yeah, definitely. Except automatic, I didn't get it.
Okay. So okay, so that's how we do it. So try and make a profile and start practicing, Fabian. That will help you a lot. So we'll do one more this time.
What's an article?
Okay. Are you ready?
What's an article? What's an article? I was asking myself this very question in the post office yesterday, standing in line waiting to sign for, as it so happens, an article, a postal article, not the postal article. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves, an article in English is a word that precedes a noun and simply indicates specificity. This sounds quite complicated, and to be honest, it's quite complicated to say without spraying everyone within 15 feet, but the concept's quite simple. The definite article in English is the word the and indicates a specific thing or type. For example, the train is an hour late. By contrast, the indefinite article in English is any of the words a, an, or some, and the indefinite article indicates a non-specific thing. For example, would you please pass me an apple? We always precede a word with a if it doesn't start with a vowel sound. For example, take a hike. I'm spending a weekend at Bernie's, or there's a knight in shining armor. Similarly, we precede words with the indefinite article an if they do start with a vowel sound. For example, an ostrich, an enormous mess, or an occupational health and safety policy.
Okay. So that's 3 points to listening. So this is an important question type as well. This was pretty slow, not too fast, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty slow this one, compared to the first.
Yes. So we'll go to our important question type, which is write from dictation. This is our last important question type, very, very, very important. So I'll have to take you to the screen, my PowerPoint. Okay. So write from dictation is a very important question. It can make or break your PTE scores. It's important for your listening and writing. You will be getting about 3 or 4 sentences. So practice 50 or 100. Make this your second nature. So your job is to listen to the audio and write out the sentence exactly as you listen. So your step 1 for this. So this is your Bible, okay? This is your Write from Dictation Bible. You will not go left or right from here. So what you'll do is listen to the audio. While you're listening, repeat the audio and take down initial letters, okay? Listen, repeat, and write initial letter as you listen, as the audio is telling. Then repeat the sentence once more, and then complete your, So give me a minute. Where is it gone? Can you see my screen? So listen. And repeat the sentence. Listen, I'm sorry. Listen, repeat, and write the initial letters. Then second thing that you do is complete your initial letter. Complete your sentence. Keep repeating it. Then type the sentence. And then proofread, and that's all. And don't worry about this, I'll explain this. Okay. So I'll just show you, I'll demonstrate how to do this because this is quite important. This procedure, it's a foolproof one. So it works, I've tried this. So this is what I do to get 100% of my Write from Dictation. Try this, you will not fail. So listen, while you're listening, repeat and write down the initial letter. Then complete your initial letter. If you can't take the initial letter, you can also use short forms. So for example, if you're writing government, if you can't remember just J, you can write GOV because you have time here. So, or short forms because you've got time here to spare. So how many minutes can you spend for this? 2 minutes per question. You can spend about 2 minutes per question. So let's do a few of this. You know, the marking criteria is, okay. So practice at least 50 every day. The marking criteria, you're getting marks for every word that you write correctly. Every word that you spell right correctly, you get a point. Now, imagine that you have, you've heard a word, maybe you've heard the word climb, but you have a doubt whether it is climbs or climbed. So what you do is you can write both your words, okay? So since you're aiming at a higher score, aim at putting only 3 extra words, not a lot.
Okay, so you can, so at least there is no negative mark for this one, so I can add whatever.
3 only 3
Okay,
extra words.
3 extra. Okay. Yeah, sometimes can be confusing.
Yes. So start, okay, very important. Start with a capital, end with a full stop.
Yeah, sure.
The reason is it gives you points towards writing. Okay, and you have to remember the rules of capitalization. Capitalize your proper nouns. Okay. Let's practice a few. So take a screenshot of this if you want to, because you'll keep following the same steps to do every question so that the step is registered in your mind. Okay. Ready? Okay. Listen, repeat, take initials or short forms, complete it, then type it in. If you want, you can open a notepad to type in your answer.
Yeah, that would be more, because I'm used to write, but during the test it's gonna be computer. So
Yeah.
It's better if I just use the way it is done for the test. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, repeat, write initials, complete your sentence, type it in, proofread. 1, 2, 3, go.
You do not need special knowledge to enjoy this book.
Special. Okay, this was your answer. You did not need special knowledge to enjoy this book. So I heard it as complete this book, but the answer is enjoy this book. Did you hear it as enjoy or complete?
Sorry, so the answer, okay. Just
This
have
is your
to
answer.
share, I mean, just need to check the screen. Okay, you did not need special knowledge. I got like, you don't need a special knowledge to write this joke here.
Okay, you need to repeat. Maybe the audio is unclear, but you need to repeat. Ready for the next one? Or do you want to do it at your end? Do you want to play it at your end? There is a website where you don't need to log in. So what you do is you can always look at this website. If you want to play it at your end, we can do that so that it's more clear for you.
No, it's pretty alright actually. I mean, my sound is the maximum, so I can do more actually.
No, in your at your end, if you
yeah, no, yeah, I subscribe actually. Real PT.
sorry, no, not Real PT. You have to create an account. So in Top PTE, you don't need an account.
Okay.
So toppte.com. So you just need to type in www.toppte.com, and then website pops up like this. And you need a translation to English.
I mean Chinese. So.
Can you read Chinese?
No, definitely not. Wait, it's not in English. So where I can choose the language?
The third one is listening. 1, 2, 3. The third yellow one on top. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, but the thing is, the website is in Chinese, and where do you change the language actually?
I got an option automatically if you look at my screen.
I didn't get it. Sorry.
So I got it from Google Translate.
Yeah.
So if you choose the third one.
Yeah, that was in French. That's why.
That's okay. So now you can choose write from dictation, which is your second.
So listening, write from dictation, yeah.
Okay, now can you play it at your end?
Yeah, the number 1 is it? Yeah.
A number of students.
Sorry, you can play it at your end.
So can you hear? Yeah, you can hear.
So you can look at your answer at show text. A number of students have volunteer jobs.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, is it better when you do it at your end?
Not really. No, the thing is my earphones, I put really the maximum sound. I need very loud. I know if it's very loud, I'm much better for any communication, verbal communication, even in real life for me. this is probably my weakness when I don't really hear well. I can't really understand well also.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So this needs
this
a
is-
lot of practice. So please follow those steps as it is. Listen, repeat, and write.
yeah,
Complete
absolutely.
it and then type it in, because that will ensure you get 100% of it. So I'll just run you through the not important questions and then I'll close for today. So we have about 4 questions which are not important in our listening. The first one is multiple choice, multiple answer. So even though we know that we have to choose the third option,
Whether you're working with oil,
even though we know we have to choose the third option, be very sure that you choose it or you go to the next question only after the audio is complete.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing your reading, you do not need to wait for anything. You can just choose say and skip. But for listening, you always have to wait till the question is finished, only then go to the next question. Okay, and multiple choice single, it's the same thing. So we try and do one.
tempera, or watercolor, it's the pigment that gives the paint its color. A pigment can either be mixed with another material or applied over its surface in a thin layer. When a pigment is mixed or ground in a liquid vehicle to form paint, it does not dissolve but remains suspended in the liquid. A paint pigment should be a smooth, finely divided powder. It should withstand the action of sunlight without changing color. A pigment should not exert a harmful chemical reaction upon the medium or upon other color pigments it is mixed with. Generally, pigments are classified according to their origin, either natural or synthetic. Natural inorganic pigments, also known as mineral pigments, include the native earths such as ochre, yellow iron oxide, and raw umber, brown iron oxide. Natural organic pigments come from vegetable and animal sources. Some examples are indigo from the indigo plant and Tyrian purple, the imperial purple the Romans prepared from a shellfish native to the Mediterranean. Today, many pigments are synthetic varieties of traditional inorganic and organic pigments. Synthetic organic pigments provide colors of unmatched intensity and tinting strength. The synthetic counterparts of the yellow and red earths are more brilliant, and if well prepared, are superior in all other respects to the native products. Inorganic synthetic colors made with the aid of strong heat are generally the most permanent for all uses. In contrast, pigments from natural sources are less permanent than the average synthetic color.
Okay, what do you think is the answer?
Sure, I was so confused.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they provide stronger, brighter colors and
Yeah,
they
this-
last for a long time. So don't waste your time. Always choose the third option in your test, okay? While you're practicing, it may not be the third option, but in your test, surely.
It's good to know.
Okay, I think that's all for today. Or do you want, let's go through the other question types if you're okay. If you're not in a hurry, we can go through the other not important questions. So this is highlight correct summary. You're listening to an audio, you have to choose what the right summary is.
This one is hard for me.
It seems as though people are starting to suffer from global warming fatigue. In other words, they're tired of hearing about how our climate's changing for the worse and how we're destroying the planet with pollution. People do care, but there's a lot of talk, little action, and certainly no solution yet. The stories people see in newspapers focus on the negative. They talk about how politicians are choosing the economy over the environment, especially in these difficult economic times. And they write about people whose lives have been negatively affected by extreme climate change. Why should we spend our free time reading articles that make us feel depressed and probably quite helpless? Global warming campaigners must turn the sad stories into happy ones. They should talk about the actions that are having a positive effect on climate change, so that people become interested again and feel motivated to continue taking action.
I think the second one, but I'm not sure.
I think it's the first one, but I'm not too sure too. Okay, so usually, well, it's based on an IELTS trick. Usually for these questions, for the summary, The answer is found either in the first two sentences or the last two sentences, because it's a summary.
Yeah.
Then the next one is highlight in, select missing word. So you have to choose what the missing word is. I'm sorry.
Earlier this year, I was driving through the countryside with a little girl of 6, and she pointed out some flowers by the wayside. I asked her what she thought flowers were for. She gave a very thoughtful answer. 2 things, she said: to make the world pretty and to help the bees make honey for us. Well, I thought that was a very nice answer, and I was very sorry I had to tell her that it wasn't.
It wasn't true or wasn't?
Because he said this one wasn't not, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, wasn't, I would say right actually, yeah. Or true.
Not right, okay. So the answer was it was not true. So he liked the answer, but he told her the answer was not true. Okay, so that's, but in your test you get stuck, less than a minute. Choose third option and just keep moving ahead. And then comes your, what did we leave? What did we lose? Okay, missing, select, choose, multiple choice, single answer.
We are going to discuss mitosis. Mitosis is a process of cell division. As a result of cell division, 2 daughter cells are produced from a single parent cell. The daughter cells are identical to one another and to the original parent cell. Mitosis includes 4 phases called prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Let's discuss each phase here. In prophase, each chromosome duplicates to form 2 sister chromatids. In metaphase, the chromosomes line up at the equatorial plate and are held by microtubules and the centromere. In anaphase, the centromeres divide and sister chromatids separate and move toward the matching poles. Finally, in telophase, daughter chromosomes arrive at the poles and the microtubules disappear. The chromatin expands. The cytoplasm divides and the cell membrane pinches inward, producing 2 daughter cells.
The chromosome duplicates to form chromatids.
Chromatids. Okay, yeah, that's the right answer. So well done on that. So I think that's all for today, Fabian. Is there anything you would like to ask before you go?
No, it's clear. Thank you for the tricks and everything. I just need to spend more time on anything, which is a bit difficult for me.
All right. So next time you know that you're coming to class, will you send me an email before so that I can prepare our lesson?
Yeah. Sorry for last time and for yesterday.
That's all right.
I don't know yet my schedule. I should know
get it.
soon.
Yeah, whenever you can. So I'll just know, okay, you're coming so that I can prepare a lesson plan for you. So we covered speaking, we covered listening, then we can cover reading and writing, and then it's only practice, practice, and practice.
So I will try to maybe email you the day before I'm
That's okay.
That would be
or even in the morning, that's okay as well, on the day. All right then. See you, Fabian, and
thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye.